Hey, so guys, welcome. The boring international break is here with us. I personally doesn't like the international break. It's full of boring games, non-competitive friendlies, and sometimes boring qualifiers. Team drawing 0-0, one hammering the other 6-0. So it's never competitive enough for me. So uh, it's always a boring time to be a football fan. But I think I have something interesting that we can talk about still on football, and it involves football boots. So I want us to talk about football boots, and in particular, we're talking about the color of football boots and what it means. The reason for this is that I read a tweet about a father who posted Copa Mundial, the Adidas Copa Mundial, the iconic, the classic Copa Mundial boots. And this tweet read this way: been waiting for this moment for the 11 years. My son at 15 has finally realized that pink, yellow, blue, red boots are shine and has gone for the holy grail at Adidas family. And then he attaches a Copa Mundial classic, the three-stripe Copa Mundial boots to his tweet. So from this you can see that it's been a father-son kind of argument. The father saying, hey, black is king, black football boots are the real football boots. And then the kid who actually is growing in a different generation, and so probably has a different perception, and saying, no, the colored boots, pink, yellow, rainbow kind of boots, gold and everything, are the real football boots, which is a generational kind of conflict, two people growing in different age. So I get the kid's perspective, and I also get the father's perspective, because I share much insight with the father, having also witnessed and experienced his generation, because his father probably in the 70s, or I mean 70s, 80s, played football back then, from my perception, and even in the 90s maybe. So between 80s and 90s, the Adidas Copa Mundial boots really was a wave. It was a cultural wave in football, and it was coming alongside other boots such as the Puma King boots and uh, Nike Premier. I think Nike Premier came later on, must have been in 2000 onwards. But then there was also Mizuno Morella. So three dominant boots in the 90s. I mean, from the 80s to the 90s, that were waves, and really uh, were worn by some of the greatest of the game. So what is happening here is that here is a father who is linking black football boots to his time playing football as a young lad, and also linking it, associating it with the greatest. Ask yourself some of the greatest midfielders that you have watched play the game back then. If you watched football, they all wore black boots, no fancy hairstyle, no nothing, just simple black boots and simple. And people like Zinedine Zidane, for instance, yeah, people like Andrea Pirlo, uh, and other great players like Maradona, they all wore black boots. Think of Michael Owen in 1998 World Cup, black boots. Think of Davos Suka, black boots. You look at these guys and you see, uh, you realize why black means something to this particular father, because he connects them to the greatest of the game, the greatest ever who have played the game. And then growing up, like the way you will take care of your boots, wash them, clean them, clear them of the dirt, then give them a perfect and proper polish, shoe shine. And it was always assumed that the way one took care of his football boots was similar to the way he loved and cared for the game. So the attention and the attention one gave to his football boots was a determinant of how he loved the game and how careful he was, how disciplined he was, how meticulous he was in his approach to the game. And so this is a generational kind of perception that you know, with the current boots, like if you have an orange boots, you hardly see how dirty it is, and so you can use it and reuse it without even taking care of it. But when you have a black boot, immediately after game you always saw that the boots needs to be cleaned, and they will be dusty or muddy depending on what grounds you are playing, and then you will give them a perfect wash and a perfect shoe shine for the next game, waiting for the next game. And it was always iconic seeing players grace the turf, enter the pitch with black shiny boots. It was always nice. So I also grew up in the 90s, and I watched this, and so I share insight with this proud dad, because I also believe that black football boots are the real deal. But I would like to hear your comment, what you think. However, kids growing up today, I think from 2000s onwards, or even in 1998, I think in 1998 also, that's when I started seeing boots of different color, white and sometimes green, because I supported Brazil in 1998, and Nigeria. I'm not a Nigerian though, but I've always been a fan of Nigeria because I was introduced to it by my uncle who is dead right now, but he introduced me to football, and he was supporting Nigeria, and from that I grew up also supporting Nigeria to today, so much so that if my country is playing with against Nigeria, I will definitely support Nigeria, because that's now the beauty of football anyway. But I remember in 1998 I could see traces of colored boots. For instance, in 1998 in France, 1998 in France, Brazil, the final game, Ronaldo Nazario de Lima had what looked like gray boots, and then Trafarel had green boots. So even in Nigeria, there is a lineup where Taribo West had white boots. So in the late 90s, the colored boots had started coming out. So, and then in 2000, then you start seeing them 2000. So growing up and watching football in generation after the 90s then introduces you to new kind of colors of boots, where if you wear a black boots, then you kind of look more old school. So much so that today, the people that wear black boots, it's very rare to see a footballer today with black boots. And there was a comment to this tweet where one says that, hey, I'm sorry mate, you are probably raising a linesman. Now that was a joke, or probably it shows a different kind of generation. Probably this guy is from a different generation, and because today if you see the people that wear black boots on a football stadium today, they are the officials. Yeah, so you will see them with the Puma King or Mondial boots, and I think it's majorly because of also the FIFA laws, and that requires them to maintain the black boots. They don't have much freedom, but they're the ones that wear these black boots. So which is strange. So but if you grew up in the 90s and below, then you know that what it meant to have or own these boots with large studs. Some of them had metallic studs that you will clean and make the metal shine, and all those kind of studs. Yeah, it was really interesting during this time. So I think there was a conflict, especially when footballers were shifting from black to colored boots. Some coaches opposed it, and they always saw kind of it was believed that players who had colored boots were not serious with the game, were indisciplined, and were more focused on being seen, like show off kind of. So coaches had a problem with their squad members who wanted boots other than black, but over time, colored boots are now the norm. And now if you put on a black boots, you're probably old school, or you kind of look like a match official. That's what it is. But if you ask me, black is still king. It comes with nostalgia, and you get to see a serious footballer. In fact, for me, if I see any footballer on black boots today, hey, that guy is a baller. He probably knows what the game is, because that's how we grew up, and how that's what football means to us growing up. So I would like to hear your comments about black or colored boots. Personally, I think black is still king. So nostalgic. So I understand what these parents from their tweets they are sharing. Some have this Copa Mundial well framed in their houses. Some are still trying to convince their lads about the beauty of black boots, and some are trying to so much to convince their kids, and so much so that if their kids abandon black boots, I mean colored boots for blacks, it's like welcome to manhood kind of situation, that hey, you were in the darkness and now you are on the light, you're finally seeing things the way it is. So black or colored boots, let me hear your comments. Yeah.